welcome to the first episode of Side Splitters. My name is Lyle,
And my name is Andy.
and our goal tonight is to leave you in stitches. This is a new comedy podcast. Me and my buddy here, Andy, are putting together, and basically it's exactly what it sounds. We're the Side Splitters. We're gonna hopefully split your sides, leave you in stitches, like we said. Just want to make you laugh. We're gonna tell jokes. We're gonna tell funny stories. We're gonna just talk about whatever the fuck comes to our mind, and it's gonna be fun.
Put our hands into the ether of randomness and pick you out a nice golden nugget of joy.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
So let's get right into it. What do you got for me here tonight, Andy?
Well, actually, I have a question for you because I know that there is a craze going around about this whole Pokemon Go thing. It has taken America by the balls, by the Pokeballs,
Yeah.
and will not take it to a center to heal it. So rather than talk about Pokemon Go, I'm actually curious. Is there a fad that has come and gone that you are actually really thankful that you never had partaken in?
Wow, we are jumping right. Okay. Is there a fad? You know what? Off the top of my head, I would probably say one of two things, and they kind of go hand in hand. Both in the '90s, both very popular. In my opinion, both pretty stupid. And it might be because I was salty I'd never got one of them, but the other one's just plain stupid. The first one would be
Wait,
never
wait,
under.
let me guess. Is it shaving a tasteful image in your pubes?
No, no.
That was a fad in the 90s that I'm pretty sure you missed out on.
Well, fuck me, right?
Yeah, well, you snooze, you lose.
Yeah, it was
No, no Thunderbolt for you.
it was Furbies. I didn't understand the appeal to
Oh,
them.
Furbies.
Yeah, I didn't understand the appeal to it. It was just like, you know,
Like literally, they spoke their own language.
yeah, that, teaching something to talk or whatever is just like, eh. And like I said, I could be a little salty because I just never got one. I never really asked for one. Um, I was, Christmas would come around, they'd go, hey, what do you want? And I'd be like, video games. And they would just be like, all right, these Furby things are kind of cool. So I kind of figured that they were going to get me one. I'm referring to of my aunt and uncle that I lived with when I was a kid. And they pretty
Okay.
much raised me for the most part. And yeah, I thought they sounded like they were going to give me one. It just never happened though. So I was just like, whatever. Never cared much. Plus, I've seen other people with it, friends, what have you, that had Furbies, and I was just like, so okay, you taught it how to say hello. Now what? uh,
Yeah, I never really got much point to those things other than just being like, noisemakers. Like kids
yeah,
always have noise-making toys. It's been something since the dawn of, not wood. Um, but yeah, I just never understood the point of Furbies other than being like an imaginary friend that was actually plastic and ran on batteries.
I'll tell you one thing that I did have that was quite the noisemaker, and in my later years scared the ever loving shit out of me. there was a.
Ooh, Teddy Ruxpin.
It was not Teddy Ruxpin. Um,
Oh,
but it it was there was all right. So I was into wrestling when I was in middle school. Not
oh
anymore.
man, who wouldn't be?
Yeah. So I was into wrestling, and when I was in middle school, it was the big hype was like Goldberg, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and like Diamond Dallas Page was my favorite. Or at least one of my favorites. I'm not gonna say my favorite, but anyway, Diamond Dallas Page I was a huge fan of. So they released this one thing that was like kind of like a stuffed animal type deal. Like it was filled with cotton. It was a figure of him that was about probably 2 feet tall, and you would bend certain ligaments of his, like you would bend his arm, and he would actually talk and say, "Ah, you're breaking my arm." You would punch him in the face, and he goes, "Oh, you."
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was cool. It was fun while it lasted. I thought I was the man when I had it, and I was beating the shit out of Diamond Dallas Page. So if you squeezed his hand, he would say his catchphrases, and just when you squeeze his hand. So years go down the road, and I'm going to bed one night, and I'm probably like 16, 17 years old at this point, and how the batteries ever lasted on this thing, I'll never know. But going to bed one night, all of a sudden, tucked away in my closet, all I hear, middle of the night, I'm DDP. Get ready to feel the bang. And I was just like, I was just like, good lord, he's gonna kill me.
No, no, not the vengeful spirit of Diamond Dallas Page.
He's gonna come out of the closet and try to teach me yoga. Yeah, it was
You go
dope.
to get up in the, out of bed in the morning and you get hit with a diamond cutter out of nowhere.
He broke him in half. Anyway,
By God, they broke him in half.
uh, yes. That was yeah, so Furbies, to answer your question.
Yeah, Furbies.
The other thing, there was another thing that I was just I to this day didn't get then, and I tried telling people it's a waste of your money and your time, but it is what it is. Beanie Babies. Did not understand.
Oh,
Yeah. Like
so
I don't know.
really, really, you just avoided quirky toys when you were younger.
No, because I did have the Tamagotchis and the Digimon, all that fun stuff.
Okay, so you weren't a fan of analog toys.
Fair, yes. No, no, that's wrong too.
Okay, yeah, if it was digital, like it could have some semblance of program or I don't even know if it's like Skynetian like sentience just to have a Tamagotchi that would just, oh my God, it pooped. I have to take care of it, but I don't actually have to do anything.
It was
Where you
fun
can
to
just
be,
shake
damn
it up and leave it in the closet for years and then come back to it and it still loves you.
it.
Like that's way different than the neighbor's kids down the street.
Not entirely different, but Um,
Yeah, well,
no,
they
and
had they
actually,
have need issues.
one one toy that I had that I had fun with, just annoying the hell out of people with, was I forget what they were called, but they were kind of like Beanie Babies, except they had a little bit more weight to them, and if you threw them against something hard, they would talk. Do you remember those?
Were they shaped like balls?
Kind of, yeah, with like arms and legs.
Yeah, I vaguely remember those, but for the life of me, I couldn't think of what they are. I know the one made a couple like it just made a bunch of like burping noises.
Yeah, 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 yeah. One I actually had was like a play on Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice, and he was just like so I would just throw it constantly, and he would say all kind of random ridiculous things. Uh, that was fun. And,
Get to the chopper!
yeah.
Ow!
what was
Be
fun about
gentle.
what was fun about that was not only did I have fun with it when I first got it, again later on down the years, probably because, as a matter of fact, I'm fairly certain it was because DDP Diamond Dallas Page started talking to me one night, and I was like, this thing has to die. So being a 16, 17-year old, I had two things. I had a can of Axe body spray, and I had an incredible love for fire. So to the
That sounds like
backyard,
a typical 16, 17-year-old.
yeah. So to the backyard I went with Diamond Dallas Page, and sprayed them in Axe completely, thinking that might help, and then just kind of like lit a lighter, sprayed Axe over it. Ooh, that's a flamethrower. So up in flames, DDP went. He felt the bang. uh, but it was
Did he go down like the Terminator, where he just had like one of his catchphrases that was like slowly fading out into the distance? And it would
that's
just
what
be
I was
like,
gonna say. It was fun because like it was fun because like as I'm doing it, he's just like DDP. It's just like so naturally I'm like
feel the.
right. So naturally I'm like I have to do this with all my toys that do that now. So I just gathered up a bunch of shit and set it all on fire. Yeah, to be a child again.
Yeah, seriously. Man, a lot of the stuff that I missed out on, it was like movie related. Like, you see, where you're like, oh man, I'm so glad I didn't get these toys. Man, I am so glad I missed a lot of these movies, franchises, and like TV shows. Like, I just could not be bothered. Like, the one that I am so glad I missed the boat on, Twilight. I am so glad that I completely overshot that thing. Because, I mean, the parodies are enough. Like,
Yeah,
they can't even make fun of it and be enjoyable.
right.
Like, you gotta know the source material is bad when them mocking it is just god awful.
Right. So I mean, I didn't think in that realm of things, but yeah, I'm with you on that. The Twilight series never did much for me. As a matter of fact, What's interesting is
I mean, we both have dicks, so I'd imagine that Twilight wouldn't appeal to either one of us.
you'd be surprised. Uh, anyway, so one thing that I was into for a while was text-based RPGs on a computer, and
Nerd.
yeah, I know. One in particular that I played had a lot had a lot to deal with like immortal beings and everything. So like your classes were based around like werewolf, vampire, demon, angel, that kind of stuff. It was called God Wars, and
Okay.
I always took an appeal to werewolves, so I always picked werewolves. Um, and naturally, they kept the tradition of werewolves being the natural enemy of vampires. So I was always all about like the war behind vampires and werewolves and all that. So when Underworld came out, I was
Oh
super
boy.
freaking hype, dude. So hype. I was just like, yeah, this is happening. I went to the movie theaters. I bought the DVD. Like, I was all over that, and I absolutely like adored it. So loved the Underworld series. Twilight comes out, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
what
What the fuck is this?
what is this? And I think it was one of my female cousins that were just like, "Hey, you should check out the Twilight series. I know you used to be into like vampires and werewolves or whatever." And I'm like, "What is it?" And she goes, "Oh, it was a book, and they're making it into movies. The books are really good, and I'm sure the movies will be good too." And I'm like, "Okay." Right into a little bit and seeing how it was basically one just big love story and sparkly vampires, and I was done. That's all it took.
Yeah. When you get your body glitter on my Count Chocula, I check out. I want nothing to do with that. And when you're werewolves, like they're just looking for an excuse to show men's chests, and I don't get it because the aforementioned penis. Um, like I and plus it's just the storylines are so dull, the characters are dull. Like I never sat through one of the movies. I've only ever sat through like everything wrong with videos or like, honest trailers, stuff like that. And I'm just like, wow, this is just awful. All of it is just awful.
Okay, so I'm gonna admit to something. I sat through a few of the movies.
For
Not
your girlfriend's sake though, right? You're
my now wife's sake, so clearly it worked.
okay. Clearly,
Yeah,
nothing
I
nothing gets her engine cranking like a guy that can stand to watch her movies.
it wasn't a thing where she was like, you have to watch it from the beginning, and no, she just threw me right into it. She was like, new Twilight's out, I want to go see it. Can you take me? And it was kind of fresh into the relationship, and I'm like, all right, I guess. I'm not gonna say no. There's a whole world of possibilities, and I said yes, and I was like, yeah, this is awful. I didn't make fun of it. And I think that was the second to last one, so I really had no idea what was going on. And I was trying so hard to find an interest in it being the whole werewolf vampire thing, and just did nothing for me. Uh, the last one came out, and naturally she's like, you gotta take me to see it. You gotta take me to see it. Okay. The last one was a two-parter. The first part was terrible. The second part wasn't better. So, here's the worst part about it. Spoiler alert, by the way, for any of those that are like, "Oh my God, I still haven't seen Twilight yet, and I gotta go still see it. Don't spoil it." I don't care. I'm spoiling it.
Fair.
The final battle.
Dumbledore dies.
The final battle of the last Twilight. I'm like, I'm involved. I'm like, all right, some action. And it's like a whole two armies of people just going at each other, like supernatural people. So they're like running after each other and just beating the shit out of each other. And at one point, this dude literally grabs this person's head, this thing's head. I don't remember if it was a male or female, but they grab their head and just literally separate it from their body, just completely pull it off, like a Barbie doll. The problem was, like a Barbie doll, there was no gore, there was no blood, there was nothing. And they completely showed it. Like, it wasn't like they weren't showing it. Like, no, they showed the whole action. No blood came out. Like, nothing happened. Like, they just,
Wow.
yeah, it was awful. They just pulled the head off, and it was, I almost feel like they should have had a popping sound effect. it was awful. It was terrible. And I was just like, wow, this is awful. And they kept going at it, and they were cutting people up and punching people. There was no bruises, there was no blood, there was nothing, and I was like, this is terrible. And then at the end of it all, well, I guess one of the main characters die, and just as they're dying, that same main character, like, it all starts to rewind, and it all goes back into that main character's eyes, and it was all just a vision, like a foreseeable future that she just seen.
Oh,
So
what the fuck
she
ever.
then looks around and goes, "We shouldn't do this. Let's not do this. We're all horrible things are going to happen. We're all going to die." And that's it. Everyone's friends. The end.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how bad
That's
that
a
was.
My Little Pony ending.
Oh, it's. I'm pretty sure Starscream, or not Starscream. Excuse me, that's Transformers. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
Rainbow Dash. There you
Yeah,
go.
Rainbow Dash. I'm pretty sure Rainbow Dash would have been like at least a little bit of blood, but
Oh,
yeah. So,
no. Glad I
yes,
missed out on that. That is quite enough time spent on Twilight.
absolutely. But what's interesting is around the time Twilight came, was it Twilight? I don't remember, but it was certainly around the time that Underworld came out. I don't know if I was still working there when Twilight did, but I was working at an FYE, For Your Entertainment. It's a retail place that sells movies, CDs, video games, things of entertainment nature in the digital world. For those who don't know, I'm sure Andy here does. But anyway,
Oh,
um,
yeah. I was always hanging out in the 18 or older section.
I worked there for a little bit, and one of the great things about it is I worked there when Underworld came out. So when that came out on DVD, I was able to get like the box set and all that, or whatever special edition I got. I don't remember what it was, and at a hugely discounted price. So I was good to go, and that was one of the only good thing about working there was just all the discounts I got from that store. And that was pretty much it. Other than that, it was your typical retail store. It was in the mall, so like mall rats and such like that you had to deal with. It was terrible, but I got a discounted price. So what I'm getting at here is, has there ever been a job that you had to work? Well, not that you had to work, but ever a job you had where you hated the job itself, but the benefits from it were so great that you could not bring yourself to leave it.
Ooh. Um, wow. Um, I haven't had a whole lot of jobs over the years.
Nerd,
I stuck with stuff for like years at a time.
nerd,
Shut up. Um, I've had jobs. I've had one job that I completely despised. I know that. Um, like I've never quit a job unless it was for a better opportunity. And to this day, the best job I ever had was working at Wawa, which thank God people now down in Virginia know exactly the loving warmth that is the holy Wawa. Um,
if we can,
I just wish.
if we
Hmm?
could just take a moment and then just tell people about Wawa and how great it is.
Oh God, man, where do I even begin? So
Let me tell you something.
Wawa is a hand job for the soul. Um, it
Accurate.
really is. Like you go to so it's a convenience store mostly on the East Coast. It's I think as far down as Virginia, as far up as heaven, and as far west as West Virginia, if that's a thing.
Actually, uh, uh, West Virginia is a thing, and they actually go as far south as Florida. Florida actually has a few Wawas now.
Florida has a few Wawas.
Yeah.
Great shit. Although they sell alcohol in theirs, so I'm pretty jealous.
Yeah.
But it's a 24-hour convenience store. A lot of them have gas station pumps as well, which are guaranteed to have the cheapest gas that you're going to find anywhere in the area.
Yep.
It has everything you could ever want, and more. I mean, ice cream, sodas, a deli, soups, salads, wraps, fruit, just any kind of snack under the sun. If you have munchies of like apocalyptic, uh, urges in your system, they have something to satisfy. If you're pregnant and for some reason you want to have bubblegum and Maryland crab soup, they have it. Like you could satisfy any craving. And loiter to your heart's content because they don't want you to, but for some reason that's what all the cool kids do, and I never understood why. Um, but you could find gaggles of bikers from like all over this great country of ours just stopping there to grab a hoagie and then talk about whatever guy in the opposite gang colors they beat up. You have like shoobies and RVs that shoot the shit about like what coast they don't belong in and had fun at. Um, there's just so many stories to be had at a Wawa, and it's one of the greatest places in the world, a la Handjob For The Soul. And I worked at one, and to this day was the best job I ever had in my life.
What a transition, man. That was beautiful. If I could just elaborate a little bit here. What was one of the things he didn't go into detail on is the deli itself. Like they have any variety of sandwich you can ever want, and here's why I'm going into this because I live in New Jersey. Andy does as well. Um, I have family that lives out in Colorado, and I took a trip out to Colorado one
I
time.
do not.
No, Andy does not have family in Colorado. But I took a trip out.
Well, I just wanted us to be consistent.
Right. I took a trip out to Colorado one time to visit said family, and I went to we were stopping to get dinner somewhere. So we go to this like pizzeria, and at the pizzeria on the menu they had Italian hoagie, and I'm like, oh, they have hoagies here. Okay, being from New Jersey, I'm like, well, man, I sure do like me some hoagies. So, um, immediately I see cheesesteaks, I see Italian hoagies, I see sausage sandwiches, and just kind of stop looking. And I was just like, I know what I want. So the waitress comes around and she's like, yeah, what can I get you? And I'm like, I will take a turkey and cheese hoagie, please. And like, as I start going into what I want on the hoagie, she's just like, what the hell is that? And I'm just like, really? So she's like, yeah, we
Yeah,
don't.
I don't know how those West Coast people even have picnics.
Yeah, my God. So we, she just starts saying like, we don't really have any variety of hoagies. We have the Italian hoagie. Is that what you want? And I said, no. You know what? Don't worry about it. Just give me one of these sausage sandwiches. And she goes, are you sure the Italian hoagie's really good? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it is. I'll take the sausage sandwich. But my dad was simply like, you know what? I'll take the Italian hoagie. And she's like, oh, we do this great thing with it too. We open up the sandwich when it's fully built. We open it up and shove it in the oven and toast the entire sandwich. How marvelous does that sound? Like she was so
Oh
excited.
wow.
Yeah. I'm just like, is this even the same country still? So he was like, yeah, that sounds great. I'll take it. So he gets it. This thing comes and it is pitiful looking, and I'm just so happy I didn't order it. Colorado has some great things. Italian hoagies is not one of them. It was just
Hoagies in general on the West Coast, man, are just like rarities. Like nobody knows how to really do them right.
yeah. For those that don't know, Andy here used to live in Vegas for about a year, was it? So you would,
Yeah, a little over a year.
yeah. So he would definitely know his West Coast stuff. I, on the other hand,
Yeah, especially since like I had this place down there. I guess it's a chain that I wasn't aware of, but it's a chain called Jersey Mike's,
oh
and it's Jersey Mike's Sub Shop. And I was so happy that I found it because I've never heard of it. We don't have anything like that on the East Coast because every place knows how to make a goddamn sandwich.
yeah,
Um, so um, I get in there and I'm like, oh, thank God, maybe Jersey Mike is the answer. Maybe he knows how to make a decent hoagie. And I see that there's a cheesesteak option, and I go, oh great, I can get a cheesesteak. Oh man, Jersey Mike, my savior. And I order the cheesesteak, and it takes a while, but when it finally gets back to me, they give me this like I don't even know. It's like an oversized biscuit cut in half, and that's the roll they put it on. Um, the steak itself is like shredded like chuck steak.
oh God,
And like yeah, like the cheese is sort of this like it's like there's like cheese whiz, but also like melted like I don't even know Munster or mozzarella. Like it was just awful. Like this was not a cheesesteak.
this is
This
not.
was them like
Yeah, this is not the salty, greasy, cheesy thing I asked for.
Yeah, no, like, I mean, to be fair, when I saw the name of the place I was walking into, I had very high expectations. So I doubt that they
Sure.
could have lived up to that bar, but I didn't think that they would dig a hole to try to find a new way to be as far under it as possible. Like, it was just not a good effort on their end. And I remember eating like a couple bites, and the waitress comes around and she goes, "Oh, is everything all right with your cheesesteak?" Like, I demand to see Jersey Mike. I doubt that he has ever seen a cheesesteak.
That's great.
He
Bring
explains to me
me
that
like to
it's a
me.
chain. Yeah, like, I demand to see this Jersey Mike. I doubt his qualifications.
Maybe he wears sports shirts that are referred to as jerseys, but he is by no means of New Jersey. No.
Yeah, no, no, not at all. Oh, and apparently the rest of the menu was not much better. So I'm like, all right, I'll just stick with my Asian and Mexican food, because when you're out in the West Coast, that's pretty much all you can have that's worth a damn. They
That's,
don't even know what a party tray is on the West Coast,
are you
and I'm
serious?
not even going to explain it either. Y'all can wonder. Use Google. Everybody's got a smartphone. Look it up. Party tray does not exist on the West Coast.
Maybe he was referring to the country Jersey. Maybe he was from the country Jersey.
There's a Jersey country.
Yeah, it's like close to England and I think France.
Is it all just a shore with Italians on it?
I resent that remark, good sir.
I bet you do. Just
uh,
because you don't want that on your tombstone, but it's going to be there. I'll make sure of it.
oh man, 90s nostalgia. What do you want on your tombstone? I'll take pepperoni and sausage. uh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, thanks for that.
So anyway,
How about we not?
so you worked at Wawa.
Right, right. Went on a tangent. Yeah, no, it was the greatest thing in the world. Um, like,
and the
so much free food. What?
No, nothing. Yeah, no, I worked at Wawa as well before, so I definitely know that feeling. And was the food free for you?
Well, I was a shift manager, so yes, yes, it was.
Oh, you bastard.
Yeah, that's
I
what happens when you make something of yourself, Lyle.
yeah, these things they don't mean much to me.
Yeah, those things.
I I worked I was a gas station attendant, and being a gas
Petroleum distribution engineer.
yeah, I was a gas station attendant, and I I got all the discounts that a Wawa employee would get. So I mean, it was great. I would get like a hot dog for 37 cents, and I'm just like, yes, let's do this. So I got my 37-cent hot dogs. I got an Italian hoagie, like a 10-inch Italian hoagie, for like $3 or something like that. It was fantastic. You would get all the prices that the store would purchase them for, and all the coffee and fountain drinks you can ever want for free, which was fantastic.
Oh
So
yeah.
Wawa has their own iced tea blend as well. Whereas of lately, I have not been a fan of it. They've changed the recipe a few times, but at the time it was fantastic, and I used to love the hell out of it. Lately, I've been
Agreed.
lately I've been more of a well, lately I've been on a no sugar kick. We're not going to get into that, but prior to the no sugar kick,
No, no, not that's something for another episode.
yeah, prior to the no sugar kick, I was big on Turkey Hill iced tea, and it was just yeah, that's what did it for me.
Which tastes nothing like advertised.
Elaborate.
Well, I mean, I thought a brand called Turkey Hill would taste a little bit like Thanksgiving, but
You are
fuck me, right?
ridiculous.
Kind of, a little bit.
Speaking of tasting like Thanksgiving, and this is the last thing we're going to touch on with Wawa, I swear, folks. uh, around
Oh,
November,
oh, oh,
yeah,
that magical time.
yes, around like October, November-ish, they come up with this concoction. Well, not a concoction, but they have hot turkey in gravy that they start to serve, and with it, they do some magical things. One of them being a hot turkey bowl, which you can get a bowl of mashed potatoes with hot turkey on top of it. Uh, I think you can
Oh,
get it on like mac and cheese, and I don't know,
oh,
but my personal favorite was always a sandwich they had called the Gobbler. Now
Oh,
the Gobbler is a sandwich. You get it on whatever size roll you want, and it's hot turkey, stuffing, and cranberry sauce. Now, a lot of people are probably sitting there going, "Ew, cranberry sauce! I don't want that." No, cranberry sauce made by Wawa for some reason is goddamn delicious, and it's the perfect blend of sweet and salty that you could ever want on us. It's so damn good. Damn,
oh,
like it is
oh.
that good. Anyway, that's gonna be it for Wawa. So yeah.
Uh, it was important enough to talk on because, oh man, the people that don't know, I'm pretty sure they should have heard it from a friend of a friend of a relative of a friend by now that Wawa is the place they need to be. Um,
Yeah,
but I cannot stress that enough that it is a magical place.
absolutely. But yeah. So what about like so you had Wawa, I had FYE, I had other. I had a lot of jobs over the years, a lot. Like there was just never a job that I decided to stay put with. Nothing ever really tickled my fancy in that realm. Like for some reason, it just would always bore me after a while, or I just feel like I can make more money doing other things that I would enjoy more, something like that. Up until now, I work at a spice warehouse, and I am, I'm completely content where I'm at. Have been for quite a few years now, and it's all good now. But prior to that, like I
Now
said,
you're seasoned.
yes, now I am seasoned. Thank you, Andy. That was terrible.
You're welcome.
So now so I had jobs like FYE. I got discounts there for everything. Um, God, where the hell else did I work? I worked at several gas stations. Never got discounts there. I worked at a diner one time, and that was marvelous. My first day working at the diner, the owner comes up to me and goes, "Listen, if you ever get hungry, you're a short order cook here, so make something." I was like, "All right, how much is it going to cost me?" And he's just like, "No, no, make something and eat it. Don't pay anything." This is the owner telling me. He was just like,
Wow.
"It's actually good for you to make these things and eat them because then you get a taste for the things on the menu and you can suggest things or whatever." He's seen it as a way of free advertising, in a sense.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he didn't realize how big my appetite was, so it wasn't entirely free for him. So, but
Wow.
yeah, it was fun. It was interesting to see exactly what a chili cheese omelet was and how it tasted.
That sounds
Fantastic.
amazing.
It was pretty fantastic. Yeah, it was awesome. And then like he liked me making new stuff that wasn't on the menu, so we can come up with like lunch specials and stuff like that. One thing that I made that I was a big fan of was a chicken burger, which was, and I'm sure it's not my creation, but basically chicken tender on a cheeseburger with bun, lettuce, tomato, and Thousand Island dressing because most people would put mayo on a chicken sandwich and ketchup on a cheeseburger. Well, we used the combination of the two, Thousand Island dressing or Russian dressing, whatever you want to call it, and it was really
All
good.
right, so hold on. Let me get this straight. You made a McChicken with Big Mac sauce.
and the actual Big Mac burger, yes,
Okay. All right. Just making sure that we're clear on that.
yeah, it was damn tasty. So that was really cool working there and getting free food constantly. We were known for our really big pancakes, by the way. We had pancakes that were literally the size of the plate they were served on. And what's funny is like people would come in and be like,
Ever
"Yeah,
have anybody accidentally eat the plate?
no, no, we
I
haven't
like how there's a question mark there.
we haven't we haven't had that, but we have had people that would come in and be like, "Yeah, I'll take an omelet and a side of bacon and home fries, toast. Let me get a short stack of pancakes." And we're just like, "Sir, we don't really have a short stack of pancakes. We have one, two, or three pancakes." He was like, "Yeah, all right, I'll take three pancakes." Have you ever been here before? And he's just like, "No. Why do you ask?" We have really big pancakes. "Oh, I'll be fine. I see what price they are. I'm sure they're not that big." All right. So out we
All
bring
right.
this, buffet of food to him, and he's just like, "My God, no, I cannot eat all of this." Well, this is what you ordered. We warned you. Deal with it. Pay for it. But people loved it. Like
We told you not to.
once they got the idea of how big the pancakes were and everything, they they would obviously keep coming back and all that. So that was kind of cool. Unfortunately, the owner was just like, yeah, I'm tired of doing this, so he just kind of closed up shop. But it was a good place. Um, but one thing that I would,
Will be missed.
yeah, exactly. One thing that I would love to do is like being into technology, being into video games and computers and stuff like that. God, if I could work for like some sort of testing company or something like that, and just be able to get free shit that I actually enjoy, that'd be great. uh, like for example, I don't know if you heard of this or not. Maybe you have. It's been kind of all over the internet. Terry Crews. Are you familiar with Terry Crews?
The name sounds familiar, but I couldn't put a face to it.
Okay, he was the black guy that played in the movie White Chicks. He was. Oh,
Never saw White Chicks.
I'm drawing a blank. Everybody Hates Chris, the sitcom.
I'm sure they do, but I still never saw it.
All right. What am
When are you gonna name a good movie?
I doing? Yeah, Terry. I'm
Yeah,
not ashamed of this. I'm totally IMDbing him right now because I'm just drawing a blank. Sorry, folks. Oh, what was the one movie he was in? He played Cheeseburger Eddie. Uh, okay, he was.
Cheeseburger Eddie.
Yeah, not important. He was in like he was in The Expendables. Uh, he was in.
Oh, the guy with the automatic shotgun.
I've never seen it.
Wait, then how could you say he was in it if you haven't seen it?
Because I'm looking at his IMDb page. Have you ever seen Grown Ups?
No.
All right. God, you uncultured heathen.
Again, good movies.
Click. Have you ever seen Click?
No.
All right. White Chicks. Uh, Friday After Next.
Was that the one with oh, the short comedian dude?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
yes.
God, what is his name?
Cat Williams?
Cat Williams, yes. I was going to say a pimp named Slickback, but yes, Cat Williams. So do you remember the guy, the real big, beefy black dude that just got out of prison and just kept going up to people and like, give me a hug, I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, yeah.
That's Terry Crews. The Old Spice guy. Why did I not think of that? He's the Old Spice guy. Still no? Okay.
Dude, I haven't had actual television in like years.
It's all good. Regardless, you know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
He's kind of amazing.
I'm glad that we got there.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome. Like he also he hosts Millionaire now too, if I'm not mistaken. Which is irrelevant, but he's a great personality. Like he's a really good dude on film and everything like that on screen. Funny as hell, and like used to be a football player, the whole nine. Anyway, um, he recently got invited, if I'm not mistaken, to a showing of Battlefield 1, the video game. And
Right.
I guess he ended up playing it on a gaming PC as opposed to a console. So he
Okay.
fell in love with the concept of a gaming PC and was like, I have to build this. I have to go and build my own gaming PC now. So I think it's him and his son. They were just like, let's do it. Let's build one. So, he's a very successful, well, not very successful, but he's a pretty successful actor. So he probably has a decent amount of money just lying around that he can just throw at computer parts. So he built a very impressive computer system for gaming. And I think he was also sponsored by someone that like helped give him money. But regardless, it's really cool to see because this plays into the whole having the job he has, trying to branch out to something for fun, and people are just like, here, take money to do this. It seems like a good idea, and you're going to get really successful off of it. So if you use our brand, you can advertise us. Um, so yeah, now it's like all over the internet that he's like trying to build his own gaming PC, and he's not just going the easy way out by like buying an Alienware system and be like, "I'm done, guys. I'm a gaming PCer now." No, PC gamer, whatever. No, he's legitimately trying to build it. He actually had a video that he posted to Facebook, I believe, and was just like, "I'm stuck. I don't know what to do here. See, I got this sound card, and I'm trying to plug it in somewhere, but I can't find where to plug it into." It was just really funny. And yeah, so he was like asking the internet for help and everything like that, and a lot of people have been having fun with it. And he was just like, "Yeah, I'm totally on board though. PC Master Race, I'm totally all for it." I'm like, "Oh, this guy's awesome." So the
Oh, of
hope,
course you would like him for the PC Master Race thing.
you're damn right I would. The hope is that he starts streaming though on Twitch because I would watch that forever. Like that would be so good. Like, and I'm sure once it starts and I show you him and everything, you're gonna be like, "Oh, this guy, man, he is funny." But he's a lot of fun. And just it's cool to see someone that you would never picture into video games branching off and being like, I'm gonna do this, and then actually doing it and coming down to the level of us peons known as normal civilization and going, hey, can I get some help from you guys? you know, admitting his inferiority to us and all that. It's kind of cool, but he's part of the PC Master Race now, so he is no longer inferior. It is just you now that is inferior because, well, PC Master Race.
Yeah, like, okay, so I'm sorry. I like the convenience of everything being packaged in one wholesale price
Boring.
and calling it a day. I don't want to work with my I don't want to get a part of something and then having to find like 17 other parts that go with it before it becomes useful.
You simpleton. Anyway,
Like, I'm not trying to build Voltron Defender of the Universe. I just want to play a goddamn Borderlands game and call it a day.
yeah, but once you
Like, that is all.
build Voltron, that's all you need to do. I mean, everything's at your disposal.
No, because then you have responsibilities. You have responsibilities that you have to, like, you make good use of it. Like, what's the good of Voltron if you don't fight hard enemies with it? So, like, what's the good of having a gaming PC if you don't stretch it out to, like, its max? And then eventually the technology becomes to the point where, like, there's games that Voltron can't handle. And then all of a sudden, the analogy breaks apart, and then Voltron and PCs are completely blurred. The line's gone. You don't know what I'm talking about anymore. And like the only thing that can be for certain is that gaming exists, and I am not a PC person. Moving on.
Correct. because as you're saying that, I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get them. Yeah, you mean like playing the latest Halo on the original Xbox, right? yeah. Anyway, so, so PC Master Race. Um, all right. How about we get
Fuck
into
PC.
how about we get into a little fun segment I'd like to do. Don't really have a name for it just yet, but basically I'm going to tell some bizarre stories from around the world, and it's just some fun uh, current events that are happening that are a little out of the ordinary. Um, but here's going to be the fun. I'd like to make this a running thing every week, if possible. And one thing I'd like to do with it is try to get it from around the world and make it some sort of guessing game with you. Like maybe, can you guess where this happened, or can you guess what's going to happen next, or something along those lines.
Okay. All right. I'm game.
Okay. So, tell you what, we'll start with a local one.
Ooh. All right. So I'm gonna guess it happened in Jersey.
in where? I'm sorry.
Jersey.
In Jersey, but more specifically local.
Oh boy. Cumberland County.
You nailed it. Cumberland County,
Yay.
where I am currently from. Andy was once from. He's moved because he's a little bitch boy. But
Oh really? It's a quick jab in there.
yeah, yeah.
Have fun
Anyway.
with your non-sugar.
All right, so
Sugarless doughboy.
the headline here, and this is gonna do it right here for you. Stolen
Oh
brain
boy.
found under Cumberland County porch used to get high.
What? What?
Oh man.
Like by zombies from the 70s? Like what is that?
It says here, Pat.
Because if you seriously tell me that this news story is about somebody that was so far out of this world that they made a bong out of human remains, like I'm done.
Not
I've
quite
lost
bad.
faith in humanity.
It's not quite bad. It says here, Pat Beck and her
Oh,
husband
good.
Okay, so Pat Beck and her husband, okay, so Pat's a female, and her husband David thought something might be wrong when the police showed up to the vacant trailer next door in late June. On Friday, when they learned a human brain was found under their neighbor's porch, the couple was terrified. It says, Pat says, it just scares me
A
to death.
lot, I would imagine.
Pat says it just scares me to death. I didn't think that they were that kind of people, but nowadays you never know. Well, she is obviously educated. Um, it says here,
Yeah, clearly.
it says here the brain was found in a Walmart bag under the trailer's front porch. Okay, this just reeks all kind of fun story.
All
It's
right, so clearly you can get anything at Walmart.
not only that, but it's a human brain in a Walmart bag under the porch of a trailer in New Jersey.
I
Yeah.
mean, this is just a kaleidoscope of freaking redneck abandonment. Um, oh my God. I can't wait to hear the explanation for this. Where the fuck did this magical brain come from?
uh, Police say the duo who used to live there is wanted for participating in multiple burglaries. And on Thursday, Pennsylvania State Police
Did they steal a brain?
on Thursday, Pennsylvania State Police charged Joshua Long, 26 of Carlisle, with abuse of a corpse for his role in the brain activity. How do you get
Wow.
charged with abuse of a corpse? So
I
according to
can't believe that's actually a law.
yeah, really. According to court documents, Long would frequent the Penn Township home of Robbie Zoller and Angela Miklo. While there, state police say Long would soak marijuana in the brain's formaldehyde, and he and Zoller would smoke wet, causing an intense, hallucinating, and dangerous high. Wow.
Just just all sorts of wow. So they they had mind altering substances from an altered mind.
Yeah.
Wow, that is just oh,
Oh,
Inception.
here's here's the funny part. It says here,
Oh, there's more.
yeah, it says well just a little bit of details on the actual thing itself. It says here at this point, uh, now we're just trying to figure out where it came from, said Trooper Robert Hicks. We're hoping that if anyone is missing a human specimen brain, to bring it to our attention, and maybe we can return it to its rightful owner. It says Long, the criminal in the article, even gave the brain a nickname, Freddy, according to documents which detail a prison conversation between he and his aunt. So he named the brain as well.
He named the brain Freddy.
Yeah.
Wow. Um, God, there are no words. That is, first of all, that is beyond sick. Second of all, like where you even come up with that idea? Like, how bad is it that in our society these days, like you're not content with just a plain old ordinary high. Oh no, somebody got the concept in their room while getting high and said to himself, you know what will make this great? If we soaked it in formaldehyde from a brain and then actually acted on it.
I could
That
just
is insane.
I could just see it now. The dude just takes a hit of it. Oh my god, this is wet. That's what we're gonna call it, dude. Wet.
You pussy, take it to the head.
Oh,
Oh,
fascinating. Yeah, like that's what I want to know is like who came up with that concept? Like who was just like, I bet you if we soak this, I bet you they were sitting there thinking to themselves like, I bet you if we soak this in brain fluids, maybe we'll get smarter.
yeah, it's something like that. Like
Yeah.
that. God, that's even beyond me. Where the yeah, that is a concept that came out of like nowhere and returned to it. I swear.
All right, so let's move along here. The next area,
Yeah.
we'll keep the area a surprise. We'll say a man from this area is fighting to keep pizza loving alligator.
Florida.
I love it. Yes, that is 100% correct. Florida man
Yeah, okay. So
fighting to keep pizza loving alligator. Authorities open investigation after complaint. A Florida man is fighting to keep his pet alligator Gwendolyn, whom he has owned for 47 years. Florida Fish and Wild
what?
Florida Fish and Wildlife authorities are investigating retired firefighter Dan Dan Von Buren after that's just an amazing name. How'd you go wrong?
Wait, Dan Von Buren?
Yeah, after a complaint about the
He
gator.
sounds like furniture.
Yeah. Gwendolyn is 13 feet long. 13 feet. Good lord. That's a big creature. And likes
Hmm.
pizza and Chips Ahoy cookies. The name Gwendolyn was a case of mistaken gender. Von Buren did not realize it was a male gator until later on in its life. Officials said the
Oh, how unfortunate for that gator.
Officials said the alligator is not caged properly. A decision has been made whether Van Buren will be allowed to keep her. Wait a minute. They totally got it wrong. Oh, that's funny. So they just said that Gwendolyn was improperly named. I'm guessing that means it's a male. And they just said Van Buren would be, whether or not Van Buren will be allowed to keep her. So, yeah, since it was a male gator. Wow, this reporter is an idiot. Okay. Good thing the crack shot reporter here at the Side Splitters office is on the case.
Yeah, yeah. Thankfully for that. Now that we got the gender of this pizza loving 47-year-old 13-foot long alligator
Yeah.
is all straightened out. Plus, he doesn't need to keep calling Gwendolyn. Like, I mean, it's got a built-in backup right there in the name. Cause like, okay, well, it's a male. Okay, cool. Call him Dylan. Just leave off the Gwen part.
Yeah, that's pretty brilliant.
Yeah, just like, oh, I'm sorry, just Dylan then. But like, I mean, what is the offense here other than he's not properly keeping it penned up? Like,
Yeah,
is
I
that
think
why
that's.
he
I
can't
think
have
that's.
his pizza?
Yeah, I think that's just. It doesn't really go into details beyond that, but I think that's pretty much it.
47-year-old alligator. Like, if it's had nothing but a steady diet of cookies and pizza, it's probably not moving under its own power anyway. Um, it's a miracle that it hasn't died of diabetes. Um,
Or worse.
if alligators even get diabetes, I don't even know.
That's a good point. But I immediately thought, you know, the brain went some places. The whole old rumor of alligators being in sewers and a reptile that loves pizza, Teenage Mutant Ninja Alligators.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute. I like that. See, because like my immediate thought was that like I don't know whether maybe like, and this is probably tasteless, but you know, I know, but I'm bummed. Um, considering where it is and the big stink of recent events, like did the alligator just like try to lure children with the pizza? Like I don't get why he couldn't just keep it.
No, man, he's an alligator, not a gorilla.
No, no.
Uh,
Uh,
let's move on.
those, those crazy zoo animals and their
All
children loving ways.
right. The other two I have here is a bet that ultimately led to surgery. Let's go with that. That's going to be the ultimate thing there. The other one
All
is
right, so I'm gonna say wait. I'm gonna say sex change and Nevada.
no. That's not what we're doing yet. I'll read you the headline. I just won't tell you the place. So I just want you to pick where we're going next. So either a bet that led to surgery or a man that's pleading guilty to uh, illegally removing a part of his body.
Well, they both sound pretty similar, but I'm gonna go with a bet that leads to surgery because I want to know who had that much pride that he had to go ahead with the bet to take surgery.
Teenager swallows a thumbtack and sticks ballpoint pen nibs into his belly button in order to win a 20 whatever currency that is bet.
Wow,
Yeah.
Wow.
Uh,
Um,
the currency here is yuan. It looks like pounds, but it's not pounds. I don't know.
Yuan.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. It's apparently from China. But here's an interesting thing. I swear we're not a racist podcast. His name is Wang Chuan, so we're gonna call him Wang Chung.
It makes it seem so much easier. Um,
A
God, I thought the Chinese were supposed to be the smart ones.
teenager from China almost lost his life after sticking ballpoint pen nibs through his belly button and swallowing a thumbtack in a bizarre bet with friends. 16-year-old Wang Chun from the city of Jinan, won 200 Eon won. I don't. After managing to
Are
complete,
so white.
yeah, after managing to complete the task set for him on July 7th, reports People's Daily Online. A 4-hour operation was needed to remove the 1 centimeter long nibs from the teen's stomach.
Ugh,
Yeah.
ugh. Yeah, no, like, and see, this goes back to me, like, saying beforehand that, like, this generation is just getting dumber and dumber. This is natural selection going, oh, great, you found a way to live longer. Well, I just got to make you dumber then. Droves of you will still die off.
the bet
Ah,
the bet meant that Wang had to swallow a thumbtack before driving 3 ballpoint pen nibs into his stomach using his belly button. After the bet was over, Wang went to see a doctor. Li Pengyu, vice director of emergency surgery at the hospital, said that the thumbtack had already begun passing through Wang's digestive system, and therefore he should allow his body to naturally pass it. However, the ballpoint pen nibs had to be removed from Wang's stomach following a 4-hour surgery. So he actually had to poop out a thumbtack. That's grim.
yeah,
But
I can't imagine having to pass that.
yeah, it's not going to be fun. It kind of reminds me of one thing from Jackass when the guy shoved the toy car up his butt and had to poop it out.
Yeah, although, I mean, the thing with a thumbtack, though, is that you kind of live in mortal fear, like, the next time you wipe, you could hurt yourself.
you know, for
Like
that
you
reason,
really hope you get like one end out first before the other one.
for that reason, I would just purposely eat nothing but beets for like a week straight. Just be like, you know what? I'm gonna
Ugh.
live life at a gamble. Who knows if this is blood or just beet juice?
Ah.
Yeah, I mean, worst case
Well,
scenario, maybe you could at least feel better about yourself, you know?
the worst case scenario is you bleed to death
Well, I'm sure if it's profusely
and
leaking,
not know it.
yeah, if it's profusely leaking red liquid, yeah, you're bleeding. You're not just pooping out beets anymore.
Well, then he's probably like stupid to the point where like he'd probably be like, oh look, I just got my period. Wait.
Did you ever have to sneeze so hard while you were on your period that your tampon shot out?
Only that one time in band camp.
Right. Anyway, so we're gonna move on to our last story now. Uh, so like I said, a guy had to plead guilty to illegally removing a body part. It was specifically his left testicle. He had to plead guilty
Ah,
to illegal testicle removal. So
of his
where,
own testicle.
yeah, well, not so much his own, but getting it removed illegally. Where would you say this
There's
one
a
took
legal
place?
way to remove something?
Evidently. So, where where would you say this one took place in? Any shots in the dark? This one doesn't really leave much to the imagination of geographical locations, but
No, I like the first one, geological. Let's see. Well, it had to happen in the ocean. Hmm. I want to say Europe.
it is not Europe. It is not Europe. It was actually Australia. An Australian man pleads guilty to illegal testicle removal. This happened in Sydney. A man has pleaded guilty to cutting off someone's left testicle in an Australian motel room after responding to an online advertisement asking for help with a sensitive medical problem. Alan George Matthews, 56, admitted removing tissues from the 52-year-old without consent or authority in Port Macquarie? Yeah, north of Sydney in May, a local court in the town heard Wednesday. Police allege that Matthews was not a qualified or registered doctor, and the other man, who was not named, posted the ad because he could not afford a proper medical procedure for the testicle, which had troubled him since he was kicked in the groin some years ago. Sydney's Daily Telegraph reported. Ah,
Wow. So he's like, I don't know what happened. Like, ever since it got kicked, it's been giving me all sorts of problems. So just get it out of me. And you had like a surgeon respond on Craigslist,
yeah.
and it's just like, yeah, no, fine, I'll take your testicle. Like, huh? Like that could be like the next Uber service.
Or it could go the other way on it, and someone could be like, "I wonder what would happen if you left it in a jar with marijuana and some sort of liquid. Can we
Oh,
get higher off
and so
this?"
it comes full circle.
Yeah. Matthews also pleaded guilty to several other charges, including illegally possessing a gun, with police saying they became aware of the case in late June when the man went to a hospital for treatment for a wound he suffered during the operation. He is due back in court in August. Yeah, that's something. I mean, first of all, people, we're both. I'm almost 30. You're like 50. Um, we've been
Thanks.
we've been kicked in the nuts several times in our life, I'm sure. Uh,
Mm,
never did I
couple
think.
knees too.
Yeah, knees, nuts, or knees, kicks, slaps, whatever. It's just at what happens to the point where you're just like, this has to be removed now.
Maybe the same thing that happens in bad childbirth. Like, the cord wraps around the neck, it gets choked.
I'm thinking like maybe the dude was just like, you know what? I'm tired of being kicked in the nuts. This has to change. Can you remove this thing? I feel like if you only remove one, I'll still have someone in manhood, and at the same time, I'll still have a 50% chance of not suffering as much.
Either that or like, the blunt force trauma of getting kicked, like closed off the little swimmer tube to the point where like he was just getting perpetual blue balls for the rest of his life.
Oh God, that's gotta suck.
No. Oh my God. No, I totally would have called a mail order surgeon at that point too.
Yeah, I would have just, I'd have just been hated being called Papa Smurf for the rest of my life. That would suck.
Oi, get it out of me!
Yeah, that was good. Don't ever do that again. That was a terrible Australian accent. Oh, fun times. Yeah. So those are the stories I have. Still don't have a name for that segment yet. But you know, to be determined.
What would you call it?
You know what? Yeah, we'll think of something. Mostly because I don't have a way for people to get in touch with me just yet in terms of through this podcast and all that. I'm certainly not giving out my personal information, but yeah, yeah, think of names, and when we finally
Your name is Lyle.
well, yeah, and if you can get in touch with me through that, then by all means. But um, that is the segment, and that's probably it for this episode. I think we've been going for a decent amount here, and
Yeah.
figure we can wrap things up here. This will be released every Thursday. It could be anytime. Usually, I'll probably try to aim for Thursday morning. Even have it up late Wednesday night sometimes. If not, I was lazy that week or busy, one of the two. But yeah, so
More the first one than the second one.
probably. But yeah, it was fun. Hoping to go a while here. Anything you like to
Yeah, I
say?
mean, we'll have a different variety of topics, I'm sure. We seem to just like talk about just any old random thing. I promise the next one will not include Twilight. I just needed to get that off my balls.
Your Papa Smurf balls.
Yeah, I need to order an Uber for body parts and get this thing out of me.
How about a name for
Ugh.
the episode? Do you have a name for the episode here?
Name for the episode. Let me see. What about? Oh man, you gotta see. Today has been nothing but coming up with names of stuff.
Well, let's see. We had um, Thumbtack Swallower. We had Wawa Hoagies. We had Past Jobs. Terry Crews.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. How about episode one be hand job for the soul?
I like it. That is certainly what it's going to be called. So here we go.
We
Uh,
did a lot of reflecting today.
yeah, this is episode one, hand job for the soul of Side Splitters, and this is us signing out. I'm Lyle.
I'm Andy.
Yeah, see you guys next week.